Well, the clock has been running now for about 4 hours, completely unassisted there. Since our last video, I added the drivetrain, the dial train, and it's keeping fairly good time except for the fact that the escapement wheel is turning at about one revolution takes about 50 seconds. So about 10 seconds to go, which I think is a function of the length of the pendulum. Let me show you how I made these gears. I used Matthias Wandel's gear generating program, which prints out on my printer a gear 1-to-1, and I simply cut out the template and glue it onto a piece of plywood and then cut it out on a bandsaw. Now, before, I had a little bit of problem with the gears jamming, and what I did was I took it all apart and resanded all the gears, and then I put a coating of paste wax on there and then buffed it out real nice, and that helped clear any jams that were happening. If you're looking for a jam in a gear, what you need to do is wait for the clock to stop and then mark all the gears where they're touching. And then start the clock back up again and see if it stops in the same spot. If it's stopping random spots all over the place, you probably got more than one gear that's jamming. Luckily, when I was all done, I had one spot where it was jamming every time it would stop at the same spot. And I think it was going around 4 times that it would stop. So I quickly figured out that there was this one pinion gear right there that was jamming. And you can see how rough my gears are. I haven't really cleaned them up yet on the sides, but it's working. The back plate and the front plate, you can see I have drawn like a little design on there to make it at some point in time here a little bit nicer looking, and we'll be able to see more of the gears that's running. What I'm using for bearings is, you can see that or not, it's a 1/8 brass rod, and I put a 5/16 inch brass tubing on there. Let's see if we can get it off there. It's hard to do with one hand. Yep. And there's your tubing, and there's the tubing and the brass rod. And the 1/8 inch brass rod fits into a 5/16 brass tubing really nicely. It's very snug, but it's not too snug. It's pretty loose. So that's what I've been using for the bearings. So far so good. It's been running for 4 hours. As soon as the weight hits the floor, obviously it'll stop, and then we can work on the pendulum, make that look a little nicer. There is I had to build in an adjuster. I can actually move the axle of the drive wheel to adjust for tension on that. So thanks for watching.